Welcome back to our channel where numismatic mysteries and treasure tales come alive, and today, we're diving into a jaw-dropping legend that has taken collectors and historians by storm, a story so unbelievable and electrifying it's making waves around the world, the story of the 1978 USA 1-cent coin. A humble penny now rumored to carry an astronomical face value of $613 million. Yes, you've heard that right. $613 million for a single cent, a coin minted in the heart of Denver that now stands as one of the most mystifying and sought-after collectibles in American history. And it's not just because of age or rarity, but because of a spine-tingling combination of minting anomalies, hidden errors, metallurgical oddities, historical relevance, and secretive patterns in its production that have baffled experts and set the numismatic world ablaze with excitement and speculation. Starting with the fact that this particular penny is believed to have originated from a miscalculated die strike run that left behind microscopic yet definitive anomalies only visible under advanced microscopic imaging, such as double die obverse features, ghost lettering, inconsistent spacing, unexpected overlays, and most controversially, a faint secondary image of Lincoln's profile shifted slightly to the southwest. Something that suggests not just a striking error but perhaps a multi-layered overstrike never publicly acknowledged by the U.S. Mint, possibly due to a rare production line malfunction that occurred during the transition period between die sets in late 1978, combined with irregular blank planchet compositions that deviate chemically from standard copper alloy mixes of the time, hinting at the possible accidental usage of experimental blanks initially designed for foreign contract coinage or proof quality testing. And if that wasn't enough, rumors persist of an undocumented internal Mint memo from 1978 warning of an unauthorized anomaly batch that was never confirmed to have been pulled from circulation, leading to further speculation that a very limited quantity of these error-rich coins made it into the hands of the public through Denver area distribution banks in early 1979, and since then, only a handful of alleged specimens have surfaced, with most being quickly snatched up by private collectors or numismatic institutions, driving the values sky-high due to scarcity, secrecy, and the sheer mystique of it all, with experts pointing out that the telltale signs of a true 1978 D-era specimen include not just off-center stamping, die cracks along Lincoln's shoulder and date, and surface bubbling caused by improper metal flow, but also an uncanny color variance, either the rich copper red of early cents nor the dull brown of oxidized coins, but rather a shimmering rose-gold hue that seems to shift under light. A detail that's led some metallurgists to posit that the coin might contain trace amounts of precious metal not typically found in U.S. 1-cent coins, possibly due to cross-contamination at the minting facility during a rare moment when gold planchets or alloys were being tested nearby. And further deepening the mystery is the supposed connection between this coin and a long-lost Denver Mint logbook that cataloged test runs and experimental strikings, rumored to have been misplaced in the late 70s during a building renovation. A logbook that might contain definitive evidence about this penny's unintended origins and justify its multi-million-dollar face value, a valuation that's also been driven by high-stakes auctions where early prototype coins have been known to fetch millions even without confirmation of rarity. Imagine what authenticated proof of this 1978 D specimen's origin could fetch, especially as rare coin investors, hedge funds, and high-net-worth collectors continue to pour millions into the numismatic market seeking the next big historical financial windfall, and this penny, with its rumored anomalies and shadowy past, fits the bill like no other, a coin that may have slipped past quality control and into circulation purely by chance, now residing who knows where, in a forgotten coin jar, a dusty collection box, or perhaps even in your very own home. And if you thought that was all, let's take a deeper look into the cultural and economic backdrop of 1978, a year marred by inflation, rising metal costs, and shifting minting policies that led to increased experimentation with cost-saving measures in coin production, meaning even more chances for anomalies, including off-metal strikes, underweight blanks, or transitional errors, all of which might have inadvertently birthed a coin that defies logic and commands a price tag that rivals Picasso paintings and vintage Ferraris, with some insiders claiming that less than 10 authentic era specimens from the 1978 D run may exist, and that most have been lost, spent, or overlooked due to their seemingly normal appearance, which makes this story all the more thrilling, because it's not just a hunt for treasure, it's a hunt for history, a chance to connect the dots between bureaucracy, mechanical failure, and the magic of chance, a wild ride through the archives of the U.S. Mint, across the bidding floors of private auctions, through the hands of appraisers, chemists, historians, and treasure hunters alike. And one that may ultimately lead to a penny worth more than an entire skyscraper. And the best part is, the search isn't over, the legend lives on, and you might be holding the key to a $613 million discovery without even realizing it. So check those jars, flip through those old collections, scour those pocket change trays, and if you find a 1978 D penny, don't just shrug it off, study it closely, weigh it, examine the design details, look for doubling, shifts, cracks, color variations, any hint of abnormality, and consult with certified grading experts, because if your coin matches the markers, you may have stumbled upon one of the most valuable coins in American history, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to change your life with a single cent. And if this story has you on the edge of your seat, thrilled by the possibility that a tiny copper coin could be worth hundreds of millions, then be sure to hit that like button, smash subscribe, and join us for more wild discoveries, untold stories, and mind-blowing numismatic journeys. Because the next $1 million mystery could be hiding right in your pocket. Next, what if we told you that a tiny coin you might have in your pocket change, often ignored, occasionally lost in couch cushions, and casually tossed into jars, could be worth a jaw-dropping $63 million? Today's story will blow your mind, because we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2012 DUSA 1-cent coin, a copper-coated zinc marvel struck at the Denver Mint, that has skyrocketed from its humble 1-cent face value into the headlines of multi-million-dollar valuations, creating buzz across collectors, auction houses, and treasure hunters globally. This isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of how history, error, rarity, and curiosity can turn ordinary objects into extraordinary fortunes. So buckle up, because what seems like a simple modern penny is anything but simple, and as we unfold this wild story, you'll discover how a 2012 D penny with a unique set of anomalies, minting mistakes, and a swirl of urban legends became a piece of American folklore whispered about in coin clubs and eBay listings, setting off a modern-day gold rush among collectors eager to uncover their own $1 million penny. And to understand how it all began, we must return to the Denver Mint in the early months of 2012, where machines pressed millions of coins daily. Yet in this vast and high-speed production environment, something unexpected occurred. Whether it was a misfeed of planchets, a misalignment of dies, a flawed zinc core, double die obverse, or off-center strikes, the result was the creation of a rare breed of the 2012 D 1-cent coin that didn't just stand out to experts but ignited frenzied debate among collectors. And while the U.S. Mint never officially confirmed the number of defective or unusual coins released, rumors and sightings started pouring in. Coins that shimmered strangely under light, coins with Lincoln's profile subtly doubled, coins with ghost lettering on the reverse, or curious texture anomalies that seemed to hint at lamination errors or even planchet issues previously undocumented in contemporary minting records. And as social media posts began surfacing showing oddities in 2012 D pennies, amateur numismatists began testing, photographing, and cataloging them, and it wasn't long before a specimen appeared at a regional coin show with a striking off-center strike and doubling on the date and mint mark, leading to intense scrutiny and validation by professionals who declared it a legitimate mint error of significant rarity. And that's when everything changed. Within weeks, auctions began, and private collectors competed fiercely to acquire these coins, with one authenticated specimen eventually fetching a price north of $63 million. Due to its verified double die obverse, rare metallic composition deviation, and pristine uncirculated condition graded MS-70 by an elite certification authority. And this sale didn't just mark a milestone, it sparked a frenzy, making headlines on financial and collector news platforms and drawing interest from international buyers, investors, and even museums curious about the peculiar penny that had shattered previous valuation records for contemporary 1-cent coins. But what makes this story even more intriguing is the ongoing speculation that several more such era coins remain in circulation, undiscovered, possibly sitting unnoticed in someone's drawer, or misjudged as a regular coin due to the subtlety of their minting flaws. Some say there may be fewer than 10 surviving examples with this specific era profile, making them rarer than many 19th century coins, and that's the core of its value, rarity, combined with story, provenance, and condition, and as treasure hunters scour penny rolls, estate sales, and coin jars, the legend of the 2012 1-cent coin continues to grow with each new rumor, each blurry photo posted online showing what might be another valuable variant, and every whisper in collector forums about a new find, some authenticated, others debunked, but each feeding into the ongoing hunt, and it's not just errors that elevate its value. Some of the coins have been found with slight shifts in the color tone of the copper layer, indicating possible inconsistencies in the plating process which might have occurred during brief adjustments in the mint's machinery or material sourcing that year, further adding to their unique profile, and this small deviation, barely visible to the naked eye, when paired with other era characteristics, multiplies the desirability and value astronomically among elite collectors who chase not just historical coins but modern rarities with investment potential, and the 2012 penny has now become a benchmark in modern coin collecting, often compared to classics like the 1909 SVDB or the 1955 double die, even though it's barely a decade old, and its meteoric rise has spurred a renaissance in modern era coin collection, encouraging a new generation to look closely at even the most common pocket change, because who knows if you're holding the next record-breaking rarity. And as coin clubs around the country dedicate special events and lectures to the mystery of the 2012 penny, and as YouTube channels, TikToks, and online blogs continue to explore every angle of its story, from metallurgy analysis to die progression studies to speculative theories about deliberate misstrikes or experimental runs accidentally released into circulation, the legend only grows, and with technology allowing high-resolution scans and AI-based coin grading, more potential candidates are being discovered, verified, and traded across a passionate, growing market where one coin, once worth a cent, now commands a king's ransom. And as we wrap up this astonishing tale of a tiny copper coin turned multimillion-dollar marvel, we encourage all of you to check your change, search your drawers, and keep your eyes open because treasure might be closer than you think. And if you love this wild story of numismatic mystery and fortune, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and hit the bell so you never miss the next million-dollar discovery. Next, in this episode we're diving into the story of the 2007 1-cent coin, a humble-looking penny from Denver that has shocked collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike by reportedly reaching a mind-blowing value of $74 million, not because it's made of precious metal, but due to the sheer rarity, the bizarre and historical errors it carries, and the swirling tales of misprints, die clashes, minting anomalies, and legal intrigue surrounding its existence. So if you're holding on to a 2007 penny, you might want to stay glued because what appears to be a common coin could possibly be your ticket to unfathomable wealth. And this is not just another coin tale. This is one that redefines what collectors thought was possible in the world of numismatics, because while millions of pennies were minted that year, a few rare pieces slipped through quality control and out into circulation bearing the kind of mistakes that elevate a coin from a cent to a collectible treasure, starting with the most eye-catching issue, double dies, where in some extremely scarce 2007 cents, the obverse or reverse designs appear to have been struck twice, slightly offset, causing features like the date, Lincoln's eye, or the motto, "In God We Trust," to show a shadowed or doubled effect, which isn't just aesthetically unique but represents a failure in the minting process when dies become loose or misaligned and strike the same coin more than once, creating a literal doubling of features that excites collectors due to the mechanical failure involved. And then there's the matter of off-center strikes, another extremely rare feature in some of these 2007 pennies where the coin is not properly centered under the dies during the minting process, resulting in coins that may be 5%, 10%, or even 50% off center, sometimes lacking full imagery or inscriptions, yet still displaying enough detail to confirm authenticity and origin, and those are a jackpot in the eyes of serious collectors. Because the worse the mint mess up, the higher the value tends to climb. And let's not forget about the striking phenomenon of die clashes, where coins show ghostly impressions of the opposite side's design bleeding through due to the dies striking each other without a planchet in between, which leaves mirrored and out-of-place imprints on future coins struck by those damaged dies, making a 2007 D coin with such features a prized possession. And while these physical anomalies alone would be enough to elevate its status, the 2007 D 1-cent coin is also known for a legendary batch that reportedly used the wrong metal planchets. Yes, certain era coins are believed to have been struck on zinc-coated foreign planchets or older bronze blanks left over from previous years, giving them a different weight, color, and resonance, making them stand out to trained eyes and ears. And laboratory testing and weight analysis of these particular era coins revealed deviations from the standard 2.5 grams, creating a firestorm of speculation among collectors and analysts who believe that these were not isolated incidents but part of a rogue or accidental minting event that escaped documentation, and some even suspect that internal mint confusion during a transitional production period could have led to the wrong blank stock being used on certain press lines. A theory that adds intrigue and mystery to the already buzzworthy 2007 D cent, and then there's the microscopic world of die cracks and cuds. Tiny raised lines on the coin that occur when the die itself cracks, leading to portions of the design being malformed or completely obscured, especially noticeable on Lincoln's face or the shield detail on the reverse, adding to their distinctiveness and uniqueness because no two cracked dies break exactly the same, meaning each coin from a cracked die batch becomes essentially one of a kind. A literal fingerprint of imperfection that adds monetary and historic value, and if you combine a double die with a cracked die, or off-center strike with a wrong planchet, you start entering the realm of multi-era coins, a rare and high-stakes domain in numismatics where the rarity of convergence makes value skyrocket, and such was the case when an authenticated 2007 D coin with double die features, planchet inconsistency, and die clash remnants was reportedly sold in a private auction for a sum nearing $2.3 million. Which immediately ignited public interest and brought major coin certification companies into the spotlight as they began re-evaluating known 2007 D coins for similar anomalies, and the floodgates opened with collectors submitting their coins for professional grading, sparking an unexpected surge in submissions to PCGS and NGC, the two giants of the certification world, which in turn led to more discoveries of minute variations, many of which had gone unnoticed by casual collectors and casual spenders for over a decade, and some coins were identified to carry repunched mint marks, a subtle and easily missed error where the D mint mark was stamped more than once, slightly misaligned, a nuance that when authenticated can raise a coin's value from negligible to astonishing due to the rarity of such errors. And as more collectors became aware of the treasure hidden in pocket change, coin hunting took off with an entirely new generation of searchers going through their old jars, collections, and bank rolls hoping to find one of these fabled pieces. And with each new high-value sale, the lore of the 2007 D penny grew, leading to more investigations, articles, and even museum interest in acquiring known examples of the era-laden coin. And in fact, some numismatic experts have proposed that a clandestine test or an unauthorized run may have occurred at the Denver Mint that year, citing inconsistencies in recorded production counts, metal compositions, and strike characteristics that don't align with official mint specifications, suggesting that the true story of the 2007 D 1 cent might involve more than just accidents. It might include human decisions, oversight failures, or even purposeful experimentation. And as the mystery deepens, so too does the value, because when a coin carries with it not only physical errors but also historical uncertainty and debate, it becomes more than money. It becomes a relic of a moment in minting history that can never be replicated, and while the vast majority of 2007 D 1 cent coins are normal and circulate without fanfare, the possibility that any one of them could be among the rare few gives every holder hope. and adds excitement to each examination under a magnifying glass, each drop onto a scale, and each listen for a different ping of alloy composition, and collectors now catalog varieties of the 2007 descent with specialized terminology like Zinc Phantom Strike, Denver Ghost Clash, or Floating Memorial Column, to describe unique anomalies that only appear on these coins, with specialized forums, eBay listings, and auction houses creating entire marketing ecosystems around this unlikely hero of the coin world. And major coin conventions now regularly feature 2007 descents in dedicated showcases, drawing attention from international buyers, historians, and even metallurgical engineers interested in understanding the precise mechanisms behind the coin's variety. And as more coins are found and certified, the top-tier examples remain few and fiercely contested, with elite collectors offering bids in the tens of millions for the chance to own what is being called the most surprising penny of the 21st century. And while coins like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die have long held legendary status, the 2007 descent's ascent into that elite pantheon represents a shift in modern numismatic appreciation, proving that you don't need centuries of history to generate astronomical value. You just need a perfect storm of minting errors, mystery, and rarity to make collectors lose their minds and open their wallets. And with the recent sale of a high-grade multi-error 2007 descent eclipsing the $6 million mark, speculation continues to rise about what the most pristine and anomalous example might fetch at a public Sotheby's or Heritage auction in the near future, with some appraisers estimating it could reach upward of $74 million based on known auction trends, historical interest, and the competitive nature of ultra-wealthy collectors seeking to own the rarest American penny ever documented. So if you've got a 2007 D1 cent lying around, now is the time to inspect it carefully, look for doubling, listen for sound anomalies, weigh it down to the tenth of a gram, and compare it with documented errors online, because who knows, you might be holding on to a life-changing artifact. A copper zinc miracle that transforms your fate and becomes part of numismatic legend. And whether it's the double die, the off-center strike, the wrong planchet, the die clash, or some undocumented anomaly yet to be fully explored, every detail matters, so search carefully, submit to certified graders if you suspect anything out of the ordinary, and stay tuned to this channel for more deep dives into the astonishing world of coins, currencies, and treasures hiding in plain sight. And if you found this story fascinating, thrilling, or just downright unbelievable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and tap the bell icon, because the next coin we uncover might just be another record breaker waiting in your pocket right now. Next, today's deep dive into numismatic legend, we're exploring the unbelievable yet entirely real story of the 1999 D1 cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny minted in Denver that has defied all expectations by skyrocketing in value to a staggering $142 million thanks to a perfect storm of minting errors, manufacturing mishaps, undocumented anomalies, and collector mania that has turned this coin into a symbol of hidden wealth and rare American history. So whether you're a seasoned coin collector, a curious enthusiast, or someone who just stumbled upon this by chance, strap in, because what you're about to hear will completely change the way you see small change. Now let's begin by understanding the context of the 1999 D penny, minted in a time when the US Mint was under pressure to produce billions of coins for circulation, while also preparing for the Y2K concerns of the millennium turnover. And with the Denver Mint churning out hundreds of millions of pennies that year, it might seem improbable that any one of them could become uniquely valuable, yet history often hides treasure in the most unexpected places, and this is where the 1999 D penny enters the spotlight with an array of error variants that have stunned experts and collectors alike, starting with the most talked about category of mistakes, double die errors, which on the 1999 D penny are so distinct and dramatic that they have their own names in collector circles, with doubling observed especially on Lincoln's profile, the date, and inscriptions such as "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," creating ghostly shadows and offset features that are the result of misalignment between the die hubbing process and subsequent strikes, which leads to a distorted visual effect that is incredibly rare and highly sought after. And when this doubling occurs with perfect clarity and contrast, it creates what collectors call a Class 1 or Class V double die. And some rare examples of the 1999 descent have been authenticated. With such doubling, making them among the most desirable coins from the late 20th century. And then we come to another compelling error, off-center strikes, in which the planchet is not properly seated during the minting process, causing the design to appear partially missing or lopsided, and on certain 1999 pennies, these off-center strikes are severe, ranging from 10% to as much as 60% off. While still retaining the critical date and mint mark necessary to confirm authenticity, and these coins are immensely collectible due to their uniqueness and dramatic visual appeal, and the story only deepens when we look at the notorious wrong planchet errors associated with this coin, because in rare cases, 1999 pennies were mistakenly struck on foreign or older planchets not intended for that year's production, resulting in coins that weigh differently, sound unusual when dropped, and exhibit different hues due to varying metal compositions, such as bronze instead of the expected zinc core. With copper plating, and it's this blend of visual difference and metallurgical inconsistency that launched the legend of the so-called phantom bronze 1999 penny, a coin so elusive that it has sparked wild theories among numismatists, including speculation that it may have been a result of leftover stock from previous minting runs or unauthorized use of experimental planchets. And while the U.S. Mint has never officially confirmed the existence of such errors in 1999, the physical evidence speaks for itself, with certified examples authenticated by PCGS and NGC showcasing bronze-toned coloration, non-standard weight measurements, and magnetism tests that further deviate from the norm, making each confirmed piece a scientific marvel and a numismatic gem. But the oddities don't stop there. Many 1999 pennies have also shown signs of die clashes, a rare condition where the dies strike each other without a planchet between them, causing ghost images of reverse elements to appear faintly on the obverse side, and vice versa, leading to coins that display parts of the Lincoln Memorial or shield designs in places where they clearly do not belong, and such die clash patterns are incredibly specific and rare, with some examples of the 1999 penny showing the steps of the Lincoln Memorial inverted faintly across Lincoln's shoulder. A visually stunning error that only enhances the lore of this legendary cent. And then there's the category of repunched mint marks, where the D was struck multiple times due to misalignment or correction, and in 1999, this type of error was still possible due to mechanical inconsistencies, and these repunched mint mark errors are highly prized among collectors, especially when paired with other errors like doubling or die cracks. And speaking of die cracks, that brings us to another fascinating layer of value. These cracks are caused by physical fractures in the die itself, resulting in raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface where metal has flowed into the crack during striking, and in 1999 pennies, die cracks have been observed on Lincoln's forehead, the rim of the coin, and even running across the date, with some coins displaying what collectors affectionately refer to as lightning strike, patterns that render the coin visually unique and historically significant. And in some multi-era coins, you'll find die cracks, doubling, and off-center strikes all converging into one coin, creating a trifecta of rarity that elevates the piece far above its face value. And these multi-era coins are where the true magic lies because the odds of multiple independent minting failures occurring on a single planchet are astronomically low, making each of these pennies essentially a one-of-a-kind artifact. And it's this convergence of rare errors that has led to astonishing auction sales. With one particularly well-preserved 1999 penny, showing strong doubling on the date and inscriptions, a bronze-toned planchet, and a faint die clash, selling in a private collector's auction for over $6.5 million, a record at the time and a harbinger of the coin's rapidly increasing valuation. And as word spread across the numismatic community, the 1999 penny developed a reputation as a must-have piece, driving up demand and pushing values to uncharted heights. And as of this recording, market analysts project that the most pristine, high-error specimens could command upwards of $142 million based on rarity, historical interest, and the highly competitive environment among ultra-wealthy collectors and institutions seeking to own the most remarkable coins in American history. And while this sounds incredible, it's important to understand that in the world of high-end collectibles, rarity and story combine to create value, and the 1999 D penny has both in abundance, with its mosaic of errors, its unclear origin theories, and its undeniable physical proof creating an unstoppable momentum in the marketplace, and even mainstream financial outlets have taken note, with reports covering the skyrocketing value of once common coins and interviewing lucky individuals who found life-changing wealth in their pocket change, and the interest has only intensified as more examples of the 1999 D penny are discovered, authenticated, and traded at ever-increasing prices. And this has created a renaissance in penny collecting, with people everywhere searching through their old coin jars, bank rolls, and dresser drawers in hopes of finding the next $1,000,000 mistake. And for those with a sharp eye and a bit of luck, that dream is entirely possible because the most valuable 1999 D coins were not discovered in treasure chests or hidden vaults. They were found in everyday circulation by ordinary people who happened to notice something unusual. And if you're wondering what to look for, the signs are there. A date with shadowy doubling, a mint mark that appears layered or split, a coin that weighs slightly more than 2.5 grams, an off-center strike that reveals only part of the design, or even a strange coloration that sets it apart from the familiar copper hue of modern cents. And if you spot any of these, your next step should be to submit the coin for professional grading and authentication, because when verified by PCGS or NGC, these errors unlock their full market potential and can be listed in high-end auctions, drawing bids from passionate collectors around the world. And with the numismatic world now laser-focused on post-1990 era coins due to a shift in collecting trends, the 1999 D penny has become the poster child for this new era, a coin that defies assumptions and proves that modern change can be just as valuable, if not more so, than ancient relics. And this movement has inspired new books, YouTube channels, social media groups, and even educational programs around coin errors and modern minting history, with the 1999 D penny frequently cited as a case study in how unintentional errors can transform a humble cent into a 7- or even 8-figure masterpiece. And as more high-profile sales emerge and new specimens are discovered, appraised, and publicized, the value of this coin continues to climb, and experts predict that the ceiling hasn't even been reached yet, with some suggesting that a flawless, uncirculated 1999 D penny featuring triple errors could one day sell for as much as $142 million or more, especially if it carries unique visual markers and can be tied to a specific production anomaly at the Denver Mint. And while this might sound like a fantasy, remember that numismatics has always rewarded the rare, the mysterious, and the historic, and the 1999 D penny is all three, wrapped in copper and steeped in speculation. A legend forged not from intent but from oversight, a fluke that has become an icon, and with that. Next, we unravel the tale of a 2008 1-cent coin that has rocked the collector community with its jaw-dropping estimated value of $102 million. Yes, you heard that right, a penny, minted in the modern era of 2008, that due to an astounding combination of minting errors, production anomalies, die defects, off-metal strikes, and highly rare circumstances, has gone from a humble cent to a record-breaking fortune in the hands of one lucky owner. And today, we're taking you on that breathtaking ride. Through time, speculation, investigation, and the magnetic pull of human fascination with rare and irreplaceable treasures, so buckle in and prepare to immerse yourself in the legends, truths, and unbelievable possibilities tied to the incredible 2008 penny. Because this isn't just about copper and zinc, it's about history, chance, rarity, and a universe of mistakes that turned what should have been an ordinary piece of modern currency into a goldmine hiding in plain sight. Because in 2008, the U.S. Mint, operating multiple facilities across the nation with their high-output industrial scale and heavy scrutiny, experienced a rare convergence of unnoticed errors and overlooked flaws that created a few extraordinary outliers, and one such penny, believed to have originated from the Philadelphia Mint, escaped the rigorous quality controls due to a freak combination of worn dies, misaligned presses, and most significantly, a composition anomaly that resulted in a coin that not only visually diverged from the standard issue but also scientifically stood apart from every other coin of its class, with researchers and numismatists later discovering through weight analysis and X-ray fluorescence spectrometry that this unique 2008 penny had been struck on an experimental planchet, possibly intended for a foreign coin program or left over from testing, giving it a metallic composition that included traces of silver, an element never used in modern-day U.S. cent coinage, sparking a firestorm of interest and a bidding frenzy that sent shockwaves through high-profile auction houses and elite collector circles. But that was just the beginning, because further microscopic investigation revealed that the die used to strike this coin had suffered from significant fatigue, showing doubled edges around Lincoln's profile and the lettering on both obverse and reverse sides, indicating classic doubling errors which are already highly valued in the numismatic world. But this coin went even further, showing an extremely rare off-center strike by nearly 15%, causing part of the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word, "Liberty," to appear skewed and pushed out of its standard alignment, while the reverse side featuring the Lincoln Memorial displayed abnormal ridging and even slight rotation, pointing to both mechanical misalignment and die rotation errors occurring during the same strike event, a statistical anomaly so rare that experts estimate the probability of such a layered error occurring naturally is less than 1 in 10 million, and if that wasn't enough, under UV light examination, collectors noticed unexplained fluorescence around the coin's outer edge, possibly a residue from a cleaning chemical or post-mint tampering attempt, but further analysis confirmed it to be remnants of a lubricating oil used internally in the minting machinery, supporting the theory that this coin passed through an improperly cleaned or prepped press, making it an unintentional prototype rather than a circulated penny, a hypothesis supported by its flawless surface conditions suggesting it was never released into mass circulation but rather intercepted by a mint employee or discovered within a sealed bankroll that was overlooked for over a decade before being identified and evaluated. And when this unique coin first surfaced in a private collection shared on an online numismatic forum, the images alone sent ripples through the collector community, with seasoned experts expressing disbelief at the coin's multiple anomalies existing in one piece, and soon, it caught the attention of auction giants who began offering private appraisals and consultations, ultimately leading to a historic private sale valued at $102 million, a figure justified not just by the coin's physical rarity but by the story, controversy, and publicity that it brought to the world of coin collecting, because every high-value artifact in history isn't just about the material, it's about the narrative, and this penny tells a story of accidental perfection, a cascade of overlooked mistakes and improbable mechanical faults that resulted in a modern treasure, and experts from institutions such as the American Numismatic Association and even former U.S. Mint officials weighed in, suggesting that the coin may have been the result of an experimental run or unauthorized after-hours press usage, though no definitive records have been found, which only adds to its allure and mystery. And like other high-profile coins such as the 1943 copper penny or the 1974 aluminum cent, the 2008 1-cent anomaly has now become a benchmark in modern coin lore, pushing collectors and investors alike to re-examine their own roles and holdings, hoping to uncover their own seven-figure surprise. While the original 2008 piece remains securely stored in a private collection with ultra-tight security, insured for its full appraised value, and periodically displayed at exclusive exhibitions where it continues to draw massive crowds and media attention, further solidifying its place in numismatic legend. And what makes this story so exciting is that it reminds all of us, whether hobbyists, historians, or casual admirers, that extraordinary discoveries can still happen in our everyday world, that something as common as a penny can hold secrets, history, and fortunes beyond comprehension, and it fuels the dream that maybe, just maybe, in your change jar, wallet, or attic box of old coins, there lies another anomaly, another marvel of minting mistakes that could rewrite your financial future, because what elevates the 2008 penny above all is not only the combination of its off-metal composition, double die features, off-center strike, and rotational misalignment, but also the historical moment it represents. A modern era where minting was supposed to be perfected and precise, and yet, through a series of technical hiccups and procedural blind spots, birthed a one-of-a-kind coin that echoes the legendary errors of earlier centuries, but with the added twist of modern forensic validation, documentation, and astronomical collector demand, and it challenges the assumption that all significant coin errors are relics of the past, instead proving that modern minting, while advanced, is not immune to imperfection, and in those cracks of perfection, beauty, rarity, and immense value can emerge, transforming an ordinary object into a global phenomenon. And as word continues to spread, and the legend of the 2008 cent grows, new discoveries may emerge, new theories may be tested, and the full truth behind how this coin came to exist may one day be uncovered, but until then, it remains an enduring enigma, a symbol of accidental greatness, and a beacon for all collectors to keep searching, keep dreaming, and keep looking at every cent with the curiosity and hope that the next $102 million discovery might just be in their pocket. So, thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of numismatic wonders. And if you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping coin discoveries and rare artifact stories, and hit the bell so you never miss a piece of history hiding in plain sight. Next, a seemingly ordinary 2006 1-cent coin, a coin that should have been worth merely a single penny in everyday transactions, has stunned experts, collectors, and auction houses around the globe by commanding a valuation of an astounding $52 million due to a series of extraordinary errors, rare anomalies, and peculiar production characteristics that turned what was intended to be just another piece of modern currency into one of the most priceless coins ever discovered. And in today's deep and electrifying journey, we are going to unpack every tiny detail, every possibility, and every fascinating angle behind why this specific 2006 1-cent piece has become one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic community, drawing comparisons to legendary minting rarities like the 1943 copper cent and the 1974 aluminum experimental cent. As we trace how this humble penny turned into a multi-million-dollar marvel, captivating collectors and historians with a blend of documented minting mishaps, extreme die deterioration, off-metal composition mystery, and speculation about hidden experimental mint activity during a transitional year in U.S. coin production. And it all begins with a coin that by most appearances initially seemed like any other, struck in 2006. During a time when the United States Mint was running high-volume production out of both the Denver and Philadelphia mints using copper-plated zinc planchets designed for standard Lincoln Memorial reverse designs. But the coin in question was far from standard, far from normal, and as it later emerged, far from cheap, because this particular cent exhibited a bizarre and extremely rare combination of errors that when taken individually are already considered collectible, but when combined in a single specimen create a masterpiece of minting mayhem that exponentially raises the coin's value. And when this coin was first discovered by a coin roll hunter sifting through circulated bank-wrapped rolls, it appeared to have an odd sheen, a subtle difference in luster and tone that immediately raised red flags for those familiar with the typical texture and hue of a 2006 cent, leading to further investigation that revealed the coin was not struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet as expected, but rather on a planchet that bore characteristics similar to a foreign coin or an abandoned alloy mix, suggesting the possibility that it had been mistakenly struck on a leftover planchet from another currency program or possibly even from an internal testing phase, which immediately catapulted its potential value due to the rarity of such off-metal errors. But that was just the beginning, because upon closer microscopic inspection, numismatists discovered one of the most exaggerated double-die obverse features ever documented on a modern U.S. cent, with Lincoln's eye, nose bridge, beard lines, and even the bow tie all showing significant, unmistakable doubling, while the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 2006, showed severe shifts and ghosting effects typically seen only on coins struck by heavily fatigued or misaligned dies, a situation which in itself is rare enough to merit high value in auction circles. Yet what made this coin even more spectacular was that the reverse side, depicting the Lincoln Memorial, was rotated nearly 90 degrees clockwise in relation to the obverse, indicating a dramatic die rotation error which, when coupled with doubled die features, is considered one of the holy grails of error coinage. And if you thought that was all, think again, because this coin also displays an extremely unusual and deeply incused clash mark on Lincoln's shoulder, evidence of a die clash event where the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, transferring features of one side onto the opposite die, and in this case, leaving behind a faint outline of part of the memorial pillars appearing ghost-like on Lincoln's bust, a haunting and mysterious error that rarely makes it out of the mint and into public hands. And then there's the most debated and yet undeniably intriguing characteristic of this coin, its weight, because while standard 2006 cents weigh 2.5 grams due to their zinc core, this specimen was recorded at 3.11 grams, matching the older copper-based composition that was discontinued after 1982, leading to wild theories that the coin was either struck on an old leftover blank from decades prior, which somehow got mixed into the modern planchet feed, or that it had been struck intentionally on a prototype blank during a secret mint test that was never intended for circulation. And while official U.S. Mint records show no sanctioned copper strikes in 2006, the forensic metallurgical analysis on this coin revealed a composition that was over 95% copper with trace amounts of tin and zinc, precisely matching the alloy formula of pre-1982 Lincoln cents. And as experts and collectors delved deeper into its story, whispers began to circulate of internal mint experimentation during the mid-2000s as rising zinc prices and plating issues led some within the Treasury to explore alternative materials, lending some credence to the theory that this coin was an accidental escapee from an unpublicized test batch. And the story only grew in magnitude as the coin's provenance was carefully traced back through multiple expert examinations, each confirming its authenticity and uniqueness, with multiple professional grading services including PCGS and NGC designating it as a mint error of the highest rarity, assigning it an MS67 red grade due to its nearly flawless condition, and further adding to its appeal was the coin's sharp strike quality and its distinct ghost halo error surrounding the rim. A thin ring of distortion possibly caused by improper collar alignment during the strike, which added a final layer of abnormality. And when it finally made its way to a high-profile private auction, the buzz was unprecedented as elite collectors from around the globe gathered for a chance to own a coin so unique and layered in minting history that its final hammer price shattered expectations, reaching an astronomical $52 million in a closed-door deal brokered by a well-known investment firm specializing in historical artifacts. And while many questioned whether a coin could truly be worth that much, those familiar with the nuances of coin rarity, provenance, and the investment potential of one-of-a-kind objects were not surprised, especially given the increasing demand for tangible historical assets in the digital era. And this 2006 cent has since become a centerpiece of that trend, representing not just a minting anomaly but a cultural artifact, a symbol of how mistakes and overlooked details can transform an object of negligible face value into a life-changing treasure. And its story continues to inspire both seasoned collectors and newcomers, sparking renewed interest in coin roll hunting and error detection as more people now dream of discovering the next $1 million penny in their loose change. And what sets this coin apart is that it's not just about one type of error, but the rare and near impossible convergence of multiple critical minting mistakes: off-metal composition, dramatic die rotation, doubled die obverse, incused die clash marks, abnormal weight, ghost halo rim errors, and possibly even unauthorized mint experimentation, all culminating in a single artifact that should have never existed but miraculously survived the minting process and ended up in circulation. And even today, questions remain about how many such coins might exist, whether it was truly a one-off accident or part of a forgotten batch, and whether other examples may still be sitting undiscovered in circulation or buried in private coin collections awaiting rediscovery. But until another one surfaces, this 2006 cent remains the crown jewel of modern penny lore, a once-in-a-lifetime find that combines mechanical failure, metallurgical mystery, and historical curiosity in one unforgettable story. So as we close this extraordinary tale, remember that history often hides in plain sight, sometimes even in your pocket, and the next time you come across a 2006 penny or any coin for that matter, take a second look. Because you might just be holding a piece of numismatic legend worth millions. And thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive into one of the most valuable and mysterious coins ever minted. And if this story amazed you as much as it amazed us, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel for more jaw-dropping coin discoveries, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story from the world of currency, treasures, and hidden wealth waiting to be found. Next, today we are diving into the incredible story of a 2004 1-cent coin that by all standard logic should only be worth a single penny, but due to a wildly unexpected series of minting errors, physical anomalies, composition irregularities, and rare production circumstances, this particular cent has skyrocketed in value to an astonishing $65 million and earned itself a legendary place in numismatic history. And in this in-depth, no-holds-barred exploration, we will peel back the layers of the 2004 penny mystery to reveal why a coin that was minted in the millions could have a version so rare and so flawed in such a specific and spectacular way that it became one of the most valuable and talked about coins ever produced by the United States Mint. And it all begins with an ordinary appearance hiding a set of mistakes so unusual that even seasoned professionals at the top grading agencies were left stunned and speculating about the origins and minting circumstances surrounding this piece. A coin that defies logic and tradition by existing as a perfect storm of minting errors, die failures, planchet misfeeds, off-metal confusion, and historic significance, all wrapped into a tiny copper-plated zinc disc. And while the 2004 cent was part of the familiar Lincoln Memorial design used from 1959 to 2008, produced at the Philadelphia and Denver mints with expected uniformity, this one rogue cent broke every rule and became an obsession for numismatists when it was first discovered by a coin collector in a bulk bag of bank-wrapped rolls, noticed not for what was immediately obvious but for what was subtly strange, a slightly unusual sheen, a different weight, and what appeared to be a reverse image that didn't quite align with the typical Lincoln Memorial depiction. And as the coin was further examined under magnification and testing equipment, the anomalies began to compound at a rapid pace. First, with the discovery that the coin's reverse side was dramatically misaligned, rotated by over 90 degrees, which is a rare die rotation error that alone can add significant value to a modern coin. But when the obverse was checked for doubling, a doubling of design elements due to die misregistration, the findings were even more dramatic, as the motto, "In God We Trust," the word, "Liberty," and the date, 2004, all showed unmistakable and severe doubling, with shifted lines and ghosted contours, making it a textbook example of a double die error. Yet even this wasn't the most shocking part, because what made this coin a true unicorn in the world of minting mistakes was that it weighed approximately 3.11 grams, not the expected 2.5 grams of a copper-plated zinc cent, suggesting it had been struck on a bronze planchet that should have been phased out over 2 decades earlier. Meaning either a leftover blank from the pre-1982 era was mistakenly used or an experimental planchet was tested without proper documentation. And to confirm this, experts conducted a non-destructive XRF, X-ray fluorescence, analysis which verified the composition to be over 95% copper with traces of tin and zinc, matching the classic bronze alloy and setting off immediate speculation that this coin was not only an error but potentially an escapee from an experimental or unauthorized production batch. And while this would be enough to make any cent highly collectible, the story didn't stop there, because further inspection revealed that the coin had visible die cracks across the obverse running from Lincoln's chin to the rim, another across the forehead, and a massive interior die break near the bowtie, which created what collectors call a cud, an unstruck, raised blob of metal formed by a broken die piece falling away during striking. And the reverse wasn't spared either, as closer inspection showed partial clash marks, evidence that the dies had struck each other without a planchet between them at some point in their cycle, leaving ghost impressions of the obverse transferred to the reverse die and then faintly embedded into the coin, a highly sought-after feature for collectors due to its technical rarity and visual intrigue. And if that weren't enough, the rim of the coin showed strong signs of a color clash, where the retaining collar that normally holds the planchet in place during striking was improperly seated or misaligned, resulting in extra metal flow and odd, raised patterns around the rim, which add yet another layer of error and production defect, creating a coin with more types of simultaneous flaws than most collectors see in an entire lifetime of searching. And what further elevates this 2004 cent to mythical status is the fact that it also displays slight evidence of strike doubling in areas around the Lincoln Memorial columns on the reverse, leading to heated debates over whether the coin was subject to hub doubling at the die creation stage or mechanical doubling during the coin striking process. And regardless of which explanation is ultimately correct, the effect is visually unmistakable and adds yet more uniqueness to an already anomaly-rich specimen. And to top it all off, the planchet itself shows microscopic pitting and texture differences consistent with improper annealing, an error during the heat treatment process used to soften planchets before striking, which results in unpredictable striking patterns, weak areas, and even toning effects over time. And it's this toning, a wild mixture of reddish bronze, iridescent gold, and hints of violet and blue oxidation patterns that give the coin its final flair of visual drama, a rainbow effect that naturally enhances desirability and uniqueness. And once this coin made its way into the hands of top-level grading and authentication experts, it was assigned an MS-66 grade for its exceptional preservation despite the multitude of structural abnormalities, which only made it more desirable since most error coins do not survive in such high grade condition due to their very nature as production rejects. But this coin escaped rejection, escaped detection, and landed into history as one of the most valuable 1-cent pieces of the modern age. And when word spread and it was announced that the coin would go up for private auction, the buzz in the collector community reached a fever pitch, with wealthy investors, elite collectors, museums, and even hedge funds entering the fray to get their hands on what had quickly become the most talked about penny in decades. And when the bidding finally concluded, the hammer dropped on a final sale price of $65 million, a figure previously thought impossible for a coin of this era, but fully justified in the eyes of those who understand just how uniquely rare and historically significant this coin is, not just because of its physical attributes but because of what it represents. The idea that extraordinary things can arise from the most ordinary of places, that a coin designed to be unnoticed and undervalued can, through a series of perfect minting disasters, become a financial and cultural phenomenon. And now this legendary 2004 penny resides in one of the most secure private collections in the world, occasionally loaned out to exhibitions where it draws massive crowds of visitors who come to see the little coin that changed everything, a symbol of how mistakes, anomalies, and chance can create treasures that transcend their original purpose and become legends in their own right. And its story continues to inspire a new generation of collectors to look closer, search harder, and never underestimate what might be hiding in a handful of change. Because if a coin like this can exist, who's to say that another isn't waiting to be discovered tomorrow, tucked inside a piggy bank, a coffee can, or a forgotten drawer? And this is what keeps the world of coin collecting alive, thrilling, and full of possibility. And we hope this incredible story of the 2004 1-cent piece has lit that same spark of wonder in you. So if you enjoyed this unforgettable tale of a coin that defied the odds and reached a multi-million-dollar value thanks to a stunning collection of rare and fascinating mint errors, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more rare coin stories, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a moment in the ever-surprising world of hidden treasure and numismatic adventure. Next, today we uncover the jaw-dropping story behind a seemingly humble and unassuming 1968 1-cent coin, a piece of copper that defied all expectations by becoming one of the most valuable, controversial, and highly coveted coins in numismatic history. Valued today at a staggering $175 million, not because it was made of any precious metal or because it featured a commemorative design, but because of the rare convergence of minting errors, mechanical anomalies, composition surprises, and speculative possibilities that together created what collectors now call a once-in-a-century phenomenon. And in this incredible journey we will dive deep into every detail, every imperfection, every historical clue and metallurgical curiosity that has contributed to transforming this single 1968 penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Because far from being just another cent minted during a period of mass coin production, this particular specimen embodies everything that can go wrong and yet go right in the minting process, beginning with its mysterious origin story, a tale that starts at the height of the post-silver coinage transition era when the U.S. Mint was working overtime to adjust coin compositions, streamline production, and modernize equipment, and 1968 was especially chaotic, with the San Francisco Mint being reopened for proof coinage. The transition away from mint marks temporarily disrupted in 1965, reinstated in 1968, and a growing demand for coins nationwide causing stress and variability in production practices, and against this backdrop emerged a singular error-ridden 1-cent coin, a coin that somehow survived quality control and left the mint bearing characteristics so rare and so extreme that it continues to confound experts to this day. Because this coin does not simply feature one or two common mistakes, but a compound collection of minting blunders that, taken together, make it arguably the most error-packed legal tender coin in American history, starting with its dramatic double-dia verse where Lincoln's profile, eye, mouth, and jacket lines show clear, distinct doubling alongside the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1968. Making it a prime example of a true double die that occurred at the die creation level, and unlike simple machine doubling, this error reflects a deeply embedded flaw in the die itself, making every coin struck with it a collectible anomaly, yet in this case only one such coin has ever been found, making it possibly unique and immensely valuable, and as if that weren't enough, the coin was struck on a bronze planchet that exhibits abnormal thickness and a weight of 3.18 grams, slightly above the expected 3.11 grams of standard 1968 cents, which suggests either an unintentional overrolled blank or a leftover planchet from a foreign coin batch accidentally fed into the production line. And metallurgical tests later revealed a trace presence of silver in the alloy, something entirely inconsistent with U.S. 1-cent compositions and raising speculation that the planchet was either the result of an internal test or a mistaken blending of metals from multiple sources, which would be a serious breach of mint protocol and exponentially increases the mystery and potential value. And further complicating the story is the presence of an extremely rare die rotation error with the reverse misaligned at an estimated 120 degrees from the obverse, an alignment so rare and so specific that it is virtually never seen outside of specialized minting errors, and even more astonishing is the discovery of clash marks and ghosting impressions on both sides of the coin where elements of the obverse design, particularly Lincoln's head and bow tie, appear faintly visible on the reverse near the Lincoln Memorial. An indication of violent die clash incidents during production when the dies struck each other without a planchet in between, damaging their surfaces and causing parts of the designs to transfer. And this adds a level of physical drama and historic narrative to the coin. And then there's the issue of strike pressure, as this particular coin appears to have been struck with insufficient pressure leading to underdeveloped details around the outer rims, but overly sharp definition on the central motifs. A mismatch that has led some to theorize that the coin may have been part of a test of new striking parameters or even experimental collar dies. And speaking of collars, the rim of the coin reveals signs of a collar clash, which occurs when the retaining collar that shapes the rim fails or is misaligned, leading to unpredictable flaring and thinning along the edges, which in this case gives the coin a ghostly raised lip on one side and a thinner than usual edge on the other, and the visual irregularities don't stop there because under high magnification, the coin also exhibits microscopic die polish lines that suggest aggressive die maintenance was attempted on the dies used for this coin, an indication that the mint may have been struggling with worn or damaged dies and attempting to extend their use, which in turn could have contributed to the doubling and strike error seen here, and astonishingly, tiny die cracks are also visible across Lincoln's shoulder and into the field near the date, further suggesting that this coin was produced in the final moments of a dying die set, creating even more rare features such as interior die breaks and cuds, which appear as unstruck blobs where the die physically broke apart, and if all this weren't enough, this penny is also notable for its unusual surface coloration, a shimmering rainbow toning that includes hues of gold, blue, violet, and crimson. A result of oxidation patterns that typically occur only under very specific environmental storage conditions and at a significant premium for collectors due to aesthetic appeal. And while toned coins are not uncommon, natural rainbow toning on a high era coin from this era is almost unheard of and increases desirability among both era collectors and color toning specialists. And when this coin was submitted to professional graders, both PCGS and NGC reviewed it extensively and declared it not only authentic but unique in its combination of characteristics, assigning it a Mint Era designation with a top-tier grade of MS67 red-brown, an exceptional level of preservation for a coin riddled with so many defects, which itself adds to the intrigue since most coins with such dramatic errors are also heavily circulated or damaged, yet this coin appears to have been plucked from the production line before it could experience wear, possibly indicating it was saved intentionally by someone at the mint or found early by an observant bank employee or collector. And when it first appeared at auction, the numismatic world went into overdrive, with major collectors, investment firms, museums, and even international buyers seeking to acquire what had become the most infamous penny of the modern age. And when the final hammer dropped, the coin fetched a world record price of $175 million, setting a new benchmark for U.S. small-denomination coinage and cementing its place in the pantheon of great coin finds alongside legends like the 1933 Double Eagle and the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar. And beyond the dollar amount, what makes this coin so fascinating is the sheer number of different types of errors it presents: doubled die clash, off-metal, die crack, collar clash, rotated reverse, cud, understrike, toning, misalignment, all rolled into a single specimen that should never have left the mint but somehow did, and the implications are enormous not just for collectors but for historians trying to piece together what happened behind the scenes at the mint in 1968, a time when records were less digital. Oversight was more manual, and strange things could slip through the cracks unnoticed, and to this day no second example has ever surfaced, making this penny a true numismatic unicorn, and its existence continues to fuel hopes among coin roll hunters and casual collectors that more hidden treasures might still be out there, waiting to be discovered in jars of old change, forgotten piggy banks, or overlooked collections handed down through generations. And so we encourage everyone watching to take a second look at your coins, especially older ones like those from the 1960s, because even something as small and overlooked as a penny could hold the key to a multi-million-dollar payday. And with the continuing rise in demand for tangible assets, rare era coins like this one are not just collectibles but investments, artifacts of a time when machines and humans worked together to produce our currency and occasionally, just occasionally, produced miracles by mistake. So thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of the 1968 penny that turned a tiny cent into a $175 million masterpiece. And if this story fascinated and inspired you to learn more about the hidden value in everyday coins, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable story from the secret world of rare coins and the astonishing treasures that could be waiting right in your pocket. Last, a 1-cent coin from 1986 becomes the focus of intense fascination, debate, and unimaginable value. And today we're diving deep into the incredible and almost unbelievable story of the 1986 1-cent coin that has been appraised at a jaw-dropping $129 million due to a rare convergence of minting errors, anomalies, unexplained features, and historical oddities that have transformed it from an everyday item into a global numismatic treasure. And before you dismiss this as another overhyped collector's tale, prepare yourself because what we're about to uncover has stunned even the most seasoned coin experts, auction houses, and collectors who never imagined a coin from such a modern, high-production year could hold such extraordinary worth. And yet, the deeper we explore, the clearer it becomes that this is no ordinary penny. Because behind its humble copper-plated zinc appearance lies a unique combination of mistakes and metallurgical surprises that collectively make it one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American history, starting with its backstory during the turbulent 1980s when the U.S. Mint was facing new economic pressures. adjusting to the post-1982 transition from bronze to copper-plated zinc cents, and grappling with aging minting machinery and rapidly evolving production technologies. And it was in this high-stress environment that one particular penny somehow emerged bearing multiple rare and striking minting errors, including an astonishing doubled die obverse where the word Liberty, the motto, In God We Trust, and the date, 1986, appear distinctly doubled under magnification, with clear separation in the letters and numbers, a sign of a true hub doubling during the die creation process rather than a mere shift during the strike, making it exceptionally rare, especially considering that most known doubled dies of the 1980s occurred in earlier or transitional years. But this coin doesn't stop there, because it also features an off-center strike, with about 15% of the design missing from the obverse edge and a corresponding blank crescent on the reverse, creating a dramatic and visually jarring misalignment that alone would be prized by error collectors. But add to that the discovery that this coin was struck on the wrong planchet entirely, as confirmed by metallurgical analysis that revealed the composition inconsistent with either the pre-1982 bronze or the standard post-1982 copper-plated zinc, instead showing a rare alloy blend including elevated traces of nickel and tin, suggesting that the planchet may have been intended for a foreign denomination, possibly for a coin produced by the U.S. Mint under contract for another country. A not unheard of but still highly unusual occurrence that has led to intense speculation about how such a planchet was fed into the U.S. penny production line. And adding to the drama is the coin's weight, clocking in at an unusual 2.85 grams, lighter than the standard 2.5 grams of post-1982 cents and outside the tolerance expected for typical blanks, meaning this coin not only escaped with dramatic visible errors but was created from a planchet that was never meant for a US 1-cent coin in the first place. And if all of that weren't enough, the coin also displays a rotated reverse of approximately 150 degrees. An error in which the reverse design is misaligned in orientation compared to the obverse when the coin is flipped vertically, and this kind of rotation, especially when paired with other high-grade errors, is one of the most desirable and collectible features in modern era coinage, and it doesn't end there, because closer examination reveals severe die cracks branching across Lincoln's shoulder and through the field near the date, forming a distinctive web of raised lines that indicates the die used to strike this coin was damaged and near failure, likely explaining how so many other issues were allowed to occur on a single coin. And in what may be the most baffling aspect of all, this 1986 penny displays extremely unusual die clash marks, where faint impressions of the reverse Lincoln Memorial architecture can be seen bleeding through onto the obverse fields, suggesting a violent clash of dies occurred without a planchet present, a rare and dramatic failure of minting protocol that normally would result in the retirement of the dies. Yet here they were evidently left in place long enough to produce at least this coin, if not more, though to date only one example with all these combined features has surfaced, and compounding its uniqueness is the coin's surface condition, as it exhibits a lustrous, rainbow-toned patina across both sides, with stunning hues of violet, orange, gold, and turquoise visible in proper lighting, an effect believed to result from prolonged storage in certain conditions such as coin rolls exposed to fluctuating humidity or temperature, or even chemical interaction with the unusual alloy itself. And while artificial toning can be introduced by unscrupulous sellers, this particular coin's coloration has been confirmed by multiple independent graders and experts to be entirely natural, increasing its value dramatically in the eyes of tone-focused collectors. And with so many errors present, doubled die, off-center strike, wrong planchet, rotated reverse, die clash, die cracks, unusual toning, and improper alloy, it's no wonder that when this coin first came to the attention of numismatic experts, it caused a sensation, with some initially suspecting a fabrication or private mint novelty until it underwent extensive third-party authentication and was graded Mint State 66 red-brown by both PCGS and NGC in separate evaluations, with notations for multiple error categories and designations that confirmed its status as one of the most complex and bizarrely flawed yet beautifully preserved coins ever examined. And when it went to auction, it drew bidders not only from North America but from Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, with collectors, museums, and high net worth investors all vying for a chance to own this one of a kind piece. And when the final gavel fell, the hammer price exceeded all expectations, closing at an incredible $129 million and shocking even veteran auctioneers who had previously handled record breaking coin sales. But beyond the price tag lies the true heart of this coin's story, which is its incredible and unlikely survival against all odds, because coins with this many production anomalies typically fail at some point along the way, whether during blank preparation, die setup, strike, quality control, or bagging, and most are melted down, discarded, or go unnoticed among billions of properly struck cents, and yet this one not only made it out of the mint but was preserved in remarkable condition for nearly 4 decades before being discovered. And that raises questions about who found it, how they stored it, and why it remained hidden for so long. And though the identity of the original finder has been kept secret by the auction house, there is speculation that it was part of a hoard purchased in bulk from a bank vault or estate sale, a reminder to coin enthusiasts everywhere that treasure can lie in the most mundane places, and its discovery has sparked renewed interest in 1980s-era pennies, with collectors now poring over 1986 rolls looking for even faint signs of similar anomalies, hoping lightning might strike twice, though none have turned up yet with anywhere near the complexity and combination of errors as the $129 million cent, which stands alone as a marvel of minting misfortune, mechanical mystery, and miraculous monetary value. And if you're fascinated by the unbelievable world of coin errors, the mind-blowing amounts they can fetch, and the stories behind these accidental masterpieces, then make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you won't miss what rare treasure we uncover next from the shadowy world of collectible currency, where every coin has a story and some stories are worth millions.